Guess we can start. Let's see. Think we're heading south. And little did you know, Richmond's there for us. Dun, 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 dun. Breakfast time at this half-finished bridge. The workers are gathered around a young man who sits on a bucket like a king. They listen raptly to his story about the trickster who lures humans with magic stones. Ooh, so this is a follow-up on that one story. Listen to the tale. You realize it's the story of the girl with the strange stones, but heavily embellished. The young man on the bucket tells it masterfully, doing all the voices, as if he's told it this way 1,000 times before. What a story. It's nothing close to what actually happened, but this version's pretty good. You'll have an easy time remembering it. I'm sure I will. Let's see. So, let's go. So this little thing right here tells me what stories I haven't seen yet. It also tells me where I found a bunch of stories too. So I think going through Virginia, let's follow this road down through North and South Carolina along the road until we meet this gentleman down in Georgia. So sounds like a good plan. Maybe I can get. Maybe I can get someone to give me a ride. If nothing else, we can just enjoy this lovely music while I go along this way. Hey, can someone please come and give me a ride? Oh wait. I think we have officially entered the South now. No. I want that ride. I want that ride. Actually, no, there's a story right there. Can't really go too far. Where's it going? Oh no, I'm going too far. I remember when that worked near Iriyaji. Yep, that was pretty surprising, honestly. Welcome, Coolito. Dude, you're leading me a little further. No, now! Oh no, I regret. Can I get off? Oh no, I can't get off this crazy ride. The point of the hitchhike is I should be able to get off when I want, right? Yes, I have been kidnapped. There's the guy I wanted to talk to. Stop! Stop! How do I get off? How do I get off? Ah! I don't know how to get off. I'm just kind of stuck. Oh, this is awkward. No. I mean, I love the music, but... Did he take me all the way down to Florida? Ah! Oh no. Stop! Is he taking me all the way in Miami? I guess since I'm already here, let's head down towards Miami. God damn it. That was so much stuff I missed. Oh well, let's just keep going towards Miami then. Vamonos. Yep. Alright.
You rest in a field where a well-dressed stranger talks your ear off on all manner of subjects. The weather, fireflies in summer, how combine harvesters work. After a while, the mood shifts. Heard my death bones this morning.
Death bones?
Death bones. Heard 'em rattle like clank, Clink, clank. More startling than wind chimes in a tornado. He plucks dry grass and chews on a piece. Ain't much time left now.
You seem young.
That don't matter. I'm fine. Got my savior waiting at the pearly gates. The man shifts uncomfortably. At least I do as of this afternoon, I hope. Nearly knocked the pastor's door down earlier.
Just nod.
Sure was good to meet you. The man pauses, rubs his chin in contemplation. Don't let the bedbugs bite. He walks off slow. After his silhouette becomes small in the horizon, but before he vanishes, you see him collapse to the ground.
Oh, geez. Was he, like, dying of, like, a terminal illness? That's the only thing I can think of. He seemed alright with death. Yeah, that's something that we all have to come to terms with, and I guess he was at that point in his last bit of life where he had finally come to terms with the fact that, yeah, he was gonna die. Alright, welcome to Florida. Hope I don't get eaten by a gator. Miami. Before I go talk to whoever's there, let's go to Miami and grab these other stories first. This is good music. What do we got here? Search.
His smile lights up the room, or rather the cab of the locomotive. Folks gather round as he holds the pull cord. He's a showman through and through. You'll want to cover your ears now for this next part.
Cover your ears.
Sure doesn't help much. Engineer pulls that chain and the whistle blasts inside your skull. He just smiles through it all. Man must be half deaf.
Darnation.
A round of applause erupts from the small crowd. He passes out bubblegum to the shell-shocked kids, half of them in awe, half in tears.
Get shuffled on.
Remember now who gets you there on the advertised. Casey Jones. Everyone's all talk as they head back to their seats. That engineer sure is handsome. Gosh. And that whistle sounded just like a whippoorwill, didn't it? Ain't this the way to travel?
Move on. Casey Jones, the theatrical railroader. Very nice. What do we got here?
Faded shotgun houses sit in rows under the tall shadows of smokestacks. A worker in full uniform hollers from a porch. Hi, traveler. Throw me inside. Got some literature here.
Is it about unionizing? Let's go inside.
As you shut the door, the man glances out the window and draws the shades. Landlord toss you out? Ha, don't mind me. It's none of my business. He pries up a floorboard with a crowbar.
Watch.
You glance over the man's shoulder to see inside the compartment. Canned goods, a pile of leaflets, the wood stock of a rifle. He replaces the board and stands.
Look away.
He hands you a can of whole potatoes, then a leaflet which reads, "No evictions, no fascists, no hunger." Headed back to the shop, but we'll have a Bible meet soon.
Bible meat?
Bible meet. If you don't know James 5:1 by heart, learn it. That's our favorite scripture.
And move on. The metal worker in the company house. Alright. You share this bus stop with an old man who shifts from foot to foot, thumbing his suspenders and watching the passing traffic with an anxious focus. Hey, he blurts suddenly, turning toward you. Want to hear a good story? Sure. With the air of a man who's distracting himself from something, he stumbles quickly through a tale about the taxi which shows its riders the future. Confusing himself now and again, backtracking, adding new details out of order, you barely piece the story together. Wait a second. You suddenly realize that he's told you a twisted version of the story about the odd, silent taxicab in Boston, but massively changed, with whole new chunks you don't remember. It's true, the old man insists, turning his wincing eyes back toward the road. And with that, the conversation seems over. Alright, that one got a little bigger in the telling. Alright, let's check out Miami, baby! Sunny Miami. The seagulls scream overhead as you mosey down the beach. Out at sea, ships crawl along the horizon toward the harbor. The sun's a little intense, so you search for a scrap of land. Alright, let's explore.
You've enjoyed a break on the beach, staring off the edge of the world. But the sun is starting to go down, and the breeze is getting stronger. As you're about to stand, a man plonks down near you. He sits a polite distance off, but looks at you expectantly.
I don't like the fact that both of these are like have the scary image. Greet him warmly.
He smiles weakly. I just got fired. First Spanish-American radio host in the state, and they fired me. They needed to make cuts, I get that, but I'm twice the... He trails off. I don't know what I'm going to tell my wife.
He's sympathetic.
I could try the docks, but there's already more men than jobs, and I could barely support the family on what they pay. He hangs his head. And my boy, I can't bring myself to tell them. I don't know what to do.
Sit with him.
He calms as the sun drops below the horizon. An expanse of darkness is ahead of you. Turning back to the lights of the city reminds you that the world hasn't gone away. After a long silence, he speaks. It's never going to get better, is it?
It's a long, slow road, and we're still not even there yet. 100 years from when this time is supposed to be. Country's on its knees, or give him hope. Oh yeah, also, this is supposed to take place like during the Great Depression, so yeah. Things are fucked right now. I want to give him hope.
It takes you a moment to notice his sobbing over the noise of the waves. I've got to tell them, haven't I? I'll go to the port in the morning and see if they'll take me. You can no longer make him out in the dark, but his hand touches your shoulder as he leaves.
Move on. The man on the beach in Miami despairing about the future. Then what do they got in the store? They got a mojito, apple juice, iced coffee, orange. That'll cut out some of my money, but I don't really need any of this stuff, honestly. So I'm just going to leave. And go talk to this person. This is... Dupree, the Queen of Diamonds.
You look good, honey. You got a life? You like a good story?
Yes, I do. I mean, it's my entire job, apparently, because I sold my soul to a man with a wolf head.
I like to hear about people and make bets with them. I like to hear about the weird, handsome people. Get convinced by the rich jackasses who'll play blackjack and lose into the night. Dames who are lit cigarettes burning to the end. I want to be around furious people who use me and I use them. Are you one, stranger?
I don't know.
Come close to me.
Okay.
Hey, got any exciting stories? Like the movies?
Maybe, but I don't want to focus on those just yet. Let's get some of these other stories going. I can always come back to her at some point. Dreams in the Cotton Field, the Night of Charlotte. Shootout. Tell the story of the taxi. There's a couple of these that I don't actually have anything for yet, so I need to keep an eye out for those. Let's tell the story of the... No, that's a Devil of Leeds. Of the massive thunder... No, that's exciting. I don't want to get her stuff going yet. Tell her about the Pigeon Keeper near Richmond. Are you trying to scare me? Sorry, honey, but that one's just boring.
Some Sometimes, you know, I think, what would it take to make you stop, Ms. Dupree? Maybe it's love that would make me stop roaming and stop betting. And I think sometimes boys are like gambling, ain't they? You put all your concentration on them, you grift them, you follow them, you wait for them to pay off. But sometimes you just get shot in the stomach. And you wake up in that hospital and think, I ain't for love, Joe, I ain't for it. I can't be cared for, I can't afford it, no sir.
Yikes.
Got any stories with ghosts or murderers or blood or something like that?
Alright, well, no, but I can tell you about a really theatrical railroad dude.
Keep that for the dime novels, honey. I don't read that stuff. I don't know if you've been on the road that long, stranger. 'Cause you ain't got that exhaustion in your face about moving 'cause you have to. Sometimes you just can't with people. And you, well, you look so hungry for talk right now. Sometimes I'm in a hold'em with 5 other people and I look around and I think, I ain't been alone for 5 hours. And I might set fire to this whole place and walk out of here. You ain't there yet. Got any stories with ghosts or murderers or blood or something like that?
How about a story about a metal worker in a company house around Miami?
Quit it, stranger. That sweet nonsense will kill me young, faster than the drinking do. Life is real complicated, and the only person I really have faith in is myself. As much as you're good looking, I can't trust you, you know?
I mean, that's fair. I'm a random hobo walking around the U.S., and we meet in what looks to be a cornfield or a wheat field in the middle of Miami, close to Miami, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but alright.
I get close to you, and suddenly I lose a part of myself in there, and you can take it away from me. And you got that glint, friend. I see it. Got any stories with
Ghosts or murderers or blood?
Something like that?
How about a story about how about the story of the last bottle of Armagnac around New York City?
Sweetheart, did I say I wanted to hear some crap joke? I spent a night in jail once. And it were nicer than a prospect of going back to where I was born, you know, just to become what my mama always wanted me to be. When I was 12, she caught me kissing a girl once. And I felt like I would never get out of all the strands of her red-as-hell fury.
Uh-oh.
I said to her, but you said I ain't to kiss no boys, and I ain't. But she and I both knew that ain't what she meant. Hey, got any
exciting stories? How about a story about a man who seemed alright with death in the southeast?
Quit it, stranger. That sweet nonsense will kill me young, faster than the drinking do. Tomorrow's the great gamble. There's a light out there on the horizon. A glow of something golden. There ain't something for all of us out there. But there's that hope. I can tell you're looking for it, too. You know, if you stop to look down, there might not be anything below your feet. But you're still moving forward. Huh. Oh, well, here's the sun. I need to get on the road now, so we're cutting this talk short. Don't ask why, it ain't none of your business. Maybe if you're near my area anytime soon, we'll find each other again. I've got something out there needs doing, but I wish we'd had time to finish our talk. Don't you?
Fair enough.
Here's one last drink to...
Alright, I met the gambler. Is there anything around here that pops up? Ooh, something did pop up. I'm gonna go talk about that real quick. Maybe it's one of my stories spreading. This kindly old man sharing the shade under the bridge with you tells a few rambling stories, some true-seeming, some conspicuously less so. All true, he assures you. There's history in this place, going all the way back to Indian times. Strange stuff happens around here. Can't all be true. Sure it is, he scoffs, and then as if to prove himself right, he launches into a story about the dead woman in the yellow ribbon. And this one you know. It's the story of the elegant woman in the small town, but wilder and stranger than you remember. Yeah, I know that one. See then? The old man laughs. So I ain't pulling your leg, it's all true. That's good to hear. Good to hear that evolved. So, got a few of these people I haven't met yet, but we're about a quarter of the way there in terms of finding them. Stories. I don't have any active stories in whatever this is supposed to be. That some of these stories are still kind of in the middle of their thing right now. Are there any of them that are like fully awakened? No. No, there's most of them are still kind of on their way. Oh, messed it up. Let's see. First, there are some. Okay, looks like there's some stories over here. There's a story in the middle of the water too, apparently. Let's try to get all this. Let's try to get these stories out of Florida, and then should we head up towards Georgia? Maybe we should try to cut up through Alabama and head towards Tennessee, and stopping in through. I think that's supposed to be Atlanta. And then looping back down and going towards St. Louis. We'll see. There we go. St. Petersburg. Right. St. Petersburg. No, that's the Russian St. Petersburg, which was once Leningrad at some point.
He's small for his age. Boy of 13 or so, sitting on an upturned bucket by the side of a tiny wedge of farmland. The dog, as though by contrast, is massive, an enormous yellow-brown mutt. He's called Rover, the boy explains.
Paul says he can't come with us.
Where?
West.
You notice the Model A truck on the yard, piled high with furnishings and trunks and bags and knots of rope to tie it all together. And upon all that, too, yet more dust and grit.
Paul says it has to be better.
Yeah, at this point, everyone was going west because everyone thought it would be better, and then it just ended up being lots of people in a place that's also shitty. Like, honestly, if people really want to get the experience of what that was like, just read The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. That novel's depressing. Why can't Rover go?
With one toe tip, he scratches a parabola on the dead, dry ground.
Paul says we can't afford to feed Rover no more.
You can't tell where the blonde of the dog's coat ends and the omnipresent dust begins. Same goes for the boy's hair.
Will you take him?
You should.
Rover follows you eagerly after you feed him the tiniest sliver of jerky. But a few hours later, he snaps to attention, as though hearing some distant noise your ears can't catch. The last you see of him are the markings left by his dirty pelt on the leaves of the underbrush.
Aw, poor Rover. And let's check this place out.
A family of 9 invites you into their home for a meal. Hogs roam free in the yard. They wallow in shady patches of cool mud, not paying any mind as you pass.
Eat with the family.
During supper, the hard wind puts an awful burden on the walls. The glass dishes rumble on the table, but the mother seems calm.
Can't butcher a hog in these parts without me, Ma, hollering for pig's feet.
Ghosts?
The mother raises up her shoulders into a stern posture.
I teach my children to only fear the Lord. We don't have haints, just me, Ma.
Move on. The family of pig farmers with the ghost. Alright, so there's a couple stories up there, a couple stories around Dupree. Oh, I still want to meet this guy up here. So I'll do like a loop around a little bit, get all the Florida ones. You too. Hear a story. Sweet. Spend a while in the cool shade at this gas station. You notice 3 kids sitting beside their car. Okay, I think I've seen this one before. They're arguing, and then the oldest brother leans over and starts telling them a story. He starts telling them a story about the storm generated by a gigantic bird. You realize almost instantly that he's telling a new version of the tale of the massive thunderstorm, but with new, exciting, over-the-top details, and he tells it well. When the parents come stomping out of the gas station, you make yourself scarce, missing the ending of the boy's story, but it'll stick with you for a while. Yeah. Now the gigantic storm. Oh, hey, it's the Everglades. Going into the Everglades. Or at least I think they're supposed to be the Everglades. Whatever it is, there's a guy here, so I shall talk to them.
The soldier sits in the dirt with his legs splayed out, like a child would sit. Beneath the tattered fabric of his antique uniform, several open wounds fester in the hot sun. Lend a hand, traveler?
Depends, is that uniform blue or gray?
Well, it's a Fed ambush. I'm the only survivor. Even killed the horses. Got him mad with what we pulled off in Lawrence. As the soldier talks, blood rises from his wounds like plumes of red smoke.
That's a very obvious warning sign. Lawrence?
Lawrence the town, not the fella. Rounded up anyone old enough to hold a gun and burn the place down. The vague tension runs underneath the silence. You realize you can't see the soldier's hands. Say, stranger, where you from?
Yeah, I travel.
Where you going, Yankee? A bowie knife flies past your head, so close the wind tickles your ear. It sticks in a tree with a solid thump that clears the squirrels and birds out of the branches. When you look back, the wounded soldier's nowhere to be found.
Well, that settles it. Alright. Creepy-ass motherfucker. Well, that's a ghost story if ever I heard one. I'll have that for Dupree later. When I go up to Tallahassee, maybe. But first, this story. God, it's a really interesting looking game visually. Grab you.
No fence, gate, or sign marks the entrance to the cemetery. Just a moment ago, you weren't surrounded by graves, and now you are. How long have you been stepping on dead folks, fully unaware?
Let's observe a grave.
A wood board, bleached white. Unknown. The word was painted on black by a steady hand, each letter signed with a flourish. Whoever made this memorial had more compassion than money.
Look around.
The other graves are the same. Unknown. 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 Handwritten. Nondescript. You walk for a while, reading every marker in sight, and not once do you find a name.
That's interesting. Anonymous grave. So, trying to see. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize this. So, when you gather enough of a specific type of story, it looks like you can actually like swap out stories. That's interesting. I didn't know about that. I'm actually gonna swap out Mason's story though, because I don't want to use any of those guys' stories yet. Trying to get that one to... So you can only have, like, X amount of every story out here. You can't actually, like, just pick every story you have. Interesting. So... Oh, I don't have any stories in the sun, so I should actually be looking for more sun ones. Didn't realize I didn't have any for that one. Are there any other ones I don't have anyone for? Sun wheel and double pentagram. Got it. Oh, what are you? Over here. Search. Preacher watches you with a odd look. Suspicion? Pity? He beckons you into the church and starts counting cash out of the donations box. Hush, he says, trying to silence your thanks. He piles the coins into your hand. You look like you need it more than we do. But, I haven't used money yet. Like, money's so far been kind of useless to me. Yeah, money's been kind of useless to me so far. Alright, Tallahassee.
You emerge from the underbrush and find yourself at the edge of a field. A farmhouse sits at the other end. Close by, large family is tending to the plants together. They pause and regard you, almost nervously.
Hello there?
The grandmother asks.
Hello.
The family is almost too nice to you. When you ask for water, they don't even let you walk to the pump by the house. A child runs back to the shed for a folding chair, and they serve you lemonade in a glass among the lettuce heads.
How very kind.
Halfway through your glass, you notice someone moving furtively down by the house. The cuffs of his white shirt are stained red. The father sees your look and shifts to block your view. His eyes are bright, and his teeth are bared in something like worry.
How do you like your lemonade?
It's great.
His wife arrives with a bag full of sandwiches for you, and the whole family ushers you back into the woods, waving, wishing you well. You take one look back over your shoulder. The man by the wall is gone.
Okay, that's creepy. The farmer who gave you lemonade. There was also a corpse, or they killed someone. Here's a story. So it's the old man with the bus, talking about a good story. Stumbles quickly through the tale about a boy whose shiftless father left him alone in the woods, confusing himself now and again. You know that story. It's the twisted version of the boy who ran away with his father. Massively changed. Yep. Sounds good. And what about you? Search.
First tree in a mile, and it's a stout myrtle with bald branches. No relief from the sun out here. Leaves would help. Someone hadn't replaced them all with dusty glass bottles.
Well, that's odd. Let's rest.
You cool down in the shade. The breeze blows through the bottles, making a series of heavy, hollow sounds. You think about wind chimes and the smell of fresh pies on windowsills.
Not off.
The dense sound of many conversations cuts your nap short. There's no one around. Not until you look up at the bottles. They're filled with bright blue orbs, and words echo from them. None seem to notice your presence.
Listen to the laughter.
Can't get enough. Porcelain, chrome, the rusty ones. Gotta turn those sleek faucets. Ever find me in a hardware store, I'm gonna haunt it till the cows come home.
Laughter rumbles inside neighboring bottles.
Let's move on. The bottle with the tree with bottles on it. So, alright, so I got my first of that type of story. Get these 3 stories over here. Go up to meet this gentleman, and then... I feel bad leaving those, but I kind of want to keep pushing forward-ish. So I think I'm going to push. I think instead of my original plan, which was to go west and just go along the Gulf, I think I'm going to push into the Deep South a little bit more. Go through Georgia, up through Alabama, up to Tennessee to meet that guy. So I'm going to try 3 them around, down. I'll probably say hi to Dupree again one more time, too. Jacksonville, Florida. Alright, let's check it out. Search.
Excusez-moi.
Beckoning you over, the woman shows you a letter, beautifully typeset on thick vellum. You're struck by the scent of a fancy department store? She points on the parchment to the address.
This address, you know?
Her accent is very thick.
Take a closer look.
You are dismayed to read the first paragraph. Lorem ipsum dolor sit amet. And the address under the monogram in the letterhead. 12345 Road Street, Anytown, USA. The woman blinks, hopefully, leaning close over your shoulder.
Yes? You know this place?
She asks. Poor woman. She's been tricked.
Oh, that's shitty, taking advantage of someone like that. I mean, I'm gonna let her down easy.
This place doesn't exist, you try to explain as loud and slowly as possible.
Of course she exists.
The woman snorts, thumping a fist to her chest. You struggle to make yourself understood, but the poor woman whisks the letter away and stomps down the street. Ah well, c'est la vie.
Mysterious woman with a letter delivery. Excellent. Up towards... Hear a story. This bar is crowded with people from every walk of life. Businessmen, young men in muddy overalls, and a crowd of girls in slinky dresses preparing their blood alcohol content for a night on the town. But it's the squat, sharp-eyed man in the fedora who catches your attention, and I'll start a conversation with him. He launches into a wild story about the underground network of communist metal workers. Halfway through he stops, recognizing the look on your face. You know this one? Tell him the story about the metal worker in the company house. That's it. I think I like mine more. More exciting, sure. That's why I'll keep telling it my way, he says. Let's get another round and do a competitive test on the other folks here, shall we? By the end of the night, the whole bar agrees. The new version is better. Might be because your new friend bought them all the drinks. It's true. Alright, so it's now a story of an underground network of communist metal workers. That's an entertaining take on the tale.
We need a sixth.
She told you, beckoning from the steps of a great dark mansion. And just like that, you found yourself sitting with strangers around a velvet-draped table. Her voice is reedy and high, modulated by the tight collar of her Victorian dress.
Join hands, everyone.
Hold hands.
Your host keeps her eyes closed as she beseeches the spirits of the dead. But everyone else around the table lets one lingering, awkward glance bounce around between them. You sense they're just about done humoring her when it happens. A deep, nasty thump beneath the table.
Hold tight.
The whole table starts to shake, threatening to lift right off the ground. And then, the staid candle flames start flickering like mad, casting ghastly shadows on the walls. And then, a viciously cold wind cuts through the parlor like sharpened ice.
Keep holding.
The damned candles are dancing in midair around you now, singeing a hair here and there off the coiffed heads of these well-heeled guests. You notice your host across the table has her eyes open wider than they should go. A rivulet of blood dripping from her nose.
Oh no, I'm gonna end up killing this person, but I need stories in this wheel one. So let's keep going, holding.
When you come to your senses, sunrise has begun to creep in. The parlor is empty, but for you and the woman in the old-fashioned dress, who slumped dejectedly over the table.
He didn't show up. All that sound and fury, and no sign of his spirit.
Oh. Well, at least you got a nice seance out of it. And you're alive. I was a little worried you might not be alive after that. What's this? This is... Hear a story. This is the soup line. Gonna be here a while for the mother with a child. Topic drifts into a strange place, and she starts telling you about the man who heard his death approaching. You recognize it about the man who seemed alright with death, but way more outrageous. Yep. Not as exciting. I mean, sir, but totally likes mine better. Fair enough. Good job. Yeah, these stories evolved real quick.
The cave is really a man-made hole breaching into an earthen mound. The man, khakis dirtied by kneeling on the rough earth, has assembled a macabre little pile of skulls to the side.
What are you doing?
Readying these for sale, friend.
He wipes his hands on his pants.
This pile of skulls, clearly claimed from his enemies by an Indian chieftain, would be perfect for any cabinet of curiosities or sideshow attraction.
But why dig up a grave?
Why, these skulls belong to no one. They're just here, lying under this mound, waiting for an enterprising soul to make something of them. Isn't this what America's all about?
Ah yes, Manifest Destiny. Let's destroy a fucking grave site so that you could sell the bones for money. What the actual fuck? Look deeper into the mound.
Little sunlight reaches that deep in, but you can still see the skeletal remains. Their heads carelessly removed, laying neatly in their excavated resting places, each one lovingly surrounded by stone effigies, earthenware, and copper plates in the shape of winged warriors.
Alright, I'm gonna beat this guy up.
You pause and consider this small man, greedily arranging someone's remains as though they were a trinket for a mantelpiece.
Do I want to be just very direct, or do I want to make up a ghost story? You know what? Fuck it. Tell him to fuck off.
You've half a mind to kick him onto his ass. And having made that clear to him, he scurries off like the mole he is, much to your relief. It's the least you can do.
Move on. The grave robber. Hey, Dupree. Oh, I see you. I see you now. You came fast. Is it a story? Hear a story, yeah. Listen to this, blurts a boy loitering outside the grocery store. He works his way through a long and strange story about the rising workers' movement in New York. There he finishes. What do you think? Wait a minute. Holy shit, you know this story. It's the story of the determined socialists in New York, but wildly altered. For a couple of moments, you're too surprised to respond. Seriously, the boy insists. What do you think about this one? A great story. He smiles sheepishly. Thanks, he says. I heard it from my brother. Alright, that one upgraded too. Let's see. Okay, these are all kind of close still. I'm glad I got some stories for each of these now. Let's swap out that one for the beach one. And see, those ones are all fine. Swap story. Swapped out the shiftless father for the family of pig farmers. Okay. Alright, Dupree. Oh, there's another one of you. 1 second. Hear the story again. Old man at the bus stop. With the air of a man distracts himself, he stumbles quickly. A tale of the ghost of the well-heeled hobo, confusing himself now and again, backtracking, blah, blah, blah. He's telling the twisted version of the story about the last bottle of Armagnac. Yep. Awesome. So he's a well-heeled hobo ghost.